everybody, thank you for watching this video first and foremost, and thank you for subscribing to my Patreon if you're here. It's been a very hectic couple of weeks. A lot of things happening in my personal life, a lot of things happening in my music life, but ultimately it's slowing down a bit. I feel like I need to debrief rather than me writing a very long blog post about what's happening, what's going on. I thought I'd just make a quick video. People seem to like this last time, so I'm gonna do a bit more, and then once it's off my Patreon, I'll put it onto the main YouTube. Anyway, I thought I'd reflect on the past 2 weeks that's, you know, just gone by. We are currently August 19th. And yeah, I thought we'd just talk about what's happening, what's going on, what's new, really. What went well, what didn't. So let's go. So if you haven't been aware, on the 6th of August, we had a Rihanna watch party. If you don't know, I love Rihanna, my favourite person in the whole fucking world. And I wanted to watch a live performance with, you know, other people, virtually. I wanted to watch a live performance of Rihanna virtually, and it worked. It was quite fun. You know, I converted a few people to be Rihanna fans, and Rihanna fans were just fed that day, so all was well. The second thing that happened is on the 30th of August, I put on a personal performance. I put on a performance called Homegrown, which was like a live acoustic performance, and that was an experience, to say the least. So yeah, there were a lot of pros and cons. Again, this is a debriefing, so we're just kind of thinking through what went well, what didn't. To start off, what went well, a pro, so to speak. 80% of people brought tickets to Homegrown, and there were more people who couldn't get tickets because they got them last minute. So thank you for buying tickets if you did, and for attending. And a con, I guess, would be is that on the night of Homegrown, especially Homegrown, the watch party kind of went off without a cinch, but Homegrown, for some reason, the internet gods that day said not today. I didn't have a lot of equipment to accommodate the amount of people that were there at the performance, and that meant the internet went funny, cut out a couple of times, kicked everybody out of the room a couple of times. Things were glitching, sound couldn't be heard. It was really annoying and really unfortunate, because I am more someone who, I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I'm someone who wants to put 100% all in and make sure that people are enjoying. So it was a bit disheartening that I couldn't put on like the performance I wanted. And then that made me nervous because I was performing at the end. It meant that like by the time I got to my part, I was just shaking. I was like, I've also got to remember all these lines and sing. And then at the same time, you know, make sure the performance is cut out and things like that. So next time I might hire someone to help me out, maybe? I don't know. A pro. I'm gonna do this again. This is awesome. It felt lovely singing again, honestly, especially after, you know, the pandemonium, the pandemic. I had to give up performing. I had to give up performing in person, and it felt sucky, the fact that I couldn't just, you know, sing, you know, at a bar or sing at like an open mic. It just meant that like I was stuck doing YouTube videos, which is fine, but you don't really reach the people you want to reach. You don't make those connections straight away. So it was nice for people to see me sing like in the flesh, virtually, but have that support there, you know? So that was cool. I guess another con would be is that it costs a lot of money to put on this sort of stuff. You know, I obviously, like in typical Anusha fashion, went all out, which was cool. It was fun, it's whatever. But, you know, especially for someone who doesn't have a lot of disposable income, it can almost drain you. But at the same time, I don't feel like putting the cost to you lot, because, you know, we are in a cost of living crisis. Anyway, so that's, I guess, a con for me, is that for this to be cost effective and for me to be able to put this on regularly, I say regularly, like every season, so to speak, so next one will be autumn, it means that I'm probably gonna need some financial input from somewhere. Where, I don't know. And it's hard because it's just a new thing. So I know a lot of you are typing out now like, funding, apply the funding. A lot of funding applications require you to have experience, or at least require you to be able to prove that you have a viable product or a viable idea. But for something like this, we've talked about like how people don't really value virtual performances anymore or support them. But when that's the culture of that is in the events industry, how do I convince people to invest in someone who's one, disabled, or the response would be, why don't you just go outside? So there's that aspect to it that I don't particularly love, but it's whatever. Anyway, a pro. It was so much fun to do. I can't emphasize this enough. It was so much fun to do. I think having immediate feedback in a Zoom setting, so you have like a little chat, if you don't know how you don't know, we've been in a pandemic for 3 years now, coming up to, give a little chat as you can talk to people as you're performing. And it's quite funny because I guess people are a bit more comfortable on Zoom. They're not going to start shouting out things while you're performing. Some of the comments that I got was so funny. Some of the things that I saw, like in the little thing, seeing people vibing in the background, hilarious. It's fun to interact with people online, and I must do it more. So I apologise for being a little bit, AWOL. So yeah, that was a definite pro. A con. I am tired. We must remember that Anusha is disabled, and I'm very tired. Oh dear, I am so knackered, and I can say this debriefing video, has taken me about 3 or 4 extra days to record, just because after I finish my full-time job, I am so knackered, I just go to bed. I go straight to bed. I don't have time to record and do whatever. This is the first day since Saturday that I felt like I've had energy throughout the whole day. And that kind of scares me a little bit. But alas, it means that I know I need to take it a bit slower, or maybe book the day off after a performance, I don't know. But regardless, it's just a lot of work. It is a lot of work that you can't really escape. And when you're doing it by yourself, it kind of just does drain you. So yeah, that's a huge con. And that kind of limits me putting this on more often, But a pro, segue into the next one. I've learned a lot of tech skills. Call me an engineer. But I know a lot more than I did before. I learned how to use Ethernet cables. I know a lot about sound design now. I know what works best, what doesn't. Spent hours just training YouTube and testing it out with friends and stuff about how sound works. And that's really helpful. So if in one miraculous decision people decide to take COVID seriously, and I can go outside again and perform in person, I'll have more of an idea of what I want sound quality wise, because I know how it works in depth. I've always known how sound works because I'm quite audio is my thing, but how to deliver sound and deliver a performance in the way that you want it to be heard is a skill, and it's a skill I'm very grateful to have learned. And a last con, and this is kind of a personal thing. I think I need to change my approach of how I perform music. That sounds a bit drastic. It is. But I am someone, I've always said that if I could describe myself as someone who doesn't know what my sound is, it's like, I would say it's acoustic pop rock with a lot of bells and whistles. My first single was kind of pop but somber sounding, like chamber pop, you would call it. And then my latest single, Loser, was definitely pop rock, pop, indie rock, however you want to define it, whatever, glitch, indie rock, lord. I like sounds, I like audible things, I like very intricate pieces that sometimes you wouldn't hear on a first listen. However, performing wise, especially on Zoom, where Zoom does not like bells and whistles, they like guitar and voice. It may mean that I have to change the way I perform for now, in order for the sound quality to come across. A confusing one, because DJs have been able to do Zoom performances with mostly no hitches, but I think the combination between voice and like sound is a bit tricky, and a lot of people are suggesting like, well, why don't you plug it in straight into the computer and then have it come out? But then there's also a delay because you've got two sections of sound. So I think there are gonna have to be a couple of trial and errors, investigations that I might need to do. But that's just a personal thing. It's nothing that's going to affect you lot. It's just something I wanted to express. But overall, I still had fun. You know, I enjoyed myself. Still exhausted, but I enjoyed myself. And I appreciate the support and people sharing and people interacting. Again, it's my first performance since last November, which I did have an in-person performance. That was hell on earth. Never doing that again. So this felt a little bit more relaxed, but a little bit more fun, you know? I think I'm gonna do another one for October where I premiere a new single, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Until then, I will be doing performances, like small little performances, maybe on Instagram Live or some sort of live, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, I don't fucking know. One of the lives, and I might just trial out a few things. Trial out a few covers, trial out a few new singles for you to listen to. Let me know what you want to hear. And yeah, that's it. Oh, personally, on personal news, I got a new job. It's remote, it's fun, I'm excited. I do miss my old job because my old job was a lot more sociable, and I do forget I'm quite a sociable person. So to be in I'm in an office space, we have office banter for like 30 minutes and then we get on with the job. Very hard to get used to, but you'll get over it at some point. Still haven't really left my house since God knows when. I think I need to at some point. I'm gonna meet some friends that I'm asked to meet up outside at the first week of September when the kids go back, so the streets are less busy. So hopefully that'll be nice. That'll be quite nice to, like, you know, do and see people. But I think I'm just trying to still be careful because I just don't trust people, man. I really don't. And it's hard because, again, I'm a sociable person, so I love seeing people, but I also don't like the feeling of being panicked for like 5 or 6 days, or actually 2 weeks after, you know, because I think I've caught a virus or something. But that's just a personal thing. Anyway, enough of the mental health check-in. I'm fine, all is well. I do miss doing this. I do miss talking, so I'm very good at talking, mummy said. Love you all, Patreon. I will see you lot soon. And yeah, keep well.